thank you guys for coming. Today I am going to just give you a few tips. This isn't going to be a super long or involved call. And I'm going to talk about the secret sauce, the conversations and consistency, because I get asked a lot, how do you get Success Club every single month? How have you gotten Success Club 10 or higher every single month for so long without missing it? And it's really, really a lot more simple than it seems. And so I'm just going to explain to you some of the things that I do and why I feel that those things have helped me to be able to get Success Club every single month. And I do have to preface this with saying that tomorrow morning I should have 10 Success Club points, or 12 maybe, depending on whether one more person orders, on the board now, and it's the third. So, and I'm not saying that to brag, but I am saying that I feel like I figured out how to get Success Club and how to close the sale with people, how to actually get from the meeting someone to the getting to know them, to the invite, to the objection, to the getting through the objection, to the selling the challenge pack. And that is where I think it really lies. That's really where it lies, is in the conversations. So the bottom line, just to sum up what we're going to talk about tonight, my secrets to success lie within first of all, conversations. Second is posting, for sure, in posting. The third one is consistency. Consistency is key, and you guys have to admit, as fitness coaches and health coaches, consistency is not only what we are teaching our challengers and teaching our coaches, but consistency is what we need to practice as coaches. And I think that's why a lot of people have trouble succeeding in this business, because bottom line is that consistency is tough. And it's tough for everybody. There is not one person that has got it made. And just remember that life is a sloppy thing. Life is sloppy, okay? Everyone's life is sloppy. It doesn't matter how organized you are. There is sloppiness to your life. And you're going to feel sloppy no matter how tight you get things, no matter how organized you get things, no matter what coach training program you get set in place, no matter what challenge group template you get, or how organized you get your onboarding process, there is going to be sloppiness in that, okay? So no matter what the sloppiness is, the key to consistency is being able to set those triggers for yourself during the day that are going to remind you to do the things that you need to do, to figure out those bottom line things that you need to do every single day for your business, and figure out those points in the day or the little triggers or things that are going to either help you remember it, cause you to remember it, or cause you to make it a non-negotiable. And the fourth thing is just owning it, is just deciding you're going to do it, deciding you're a coach, you are a business builder, deciding that you are going to earn $500 a week, deciding that you are going to change the course of your your family's financial future. Decide that and own it, and don't be ashamed of it. There's a lot of stereotypes that go along with being a coach. There's a lot of people that, might have things to say about what we do, but you have to get past that. You have to decide you're going to be proud to be a coach and become proud to be a coach, because it's really something to be proud of. We are really making a difference in people's lives. There's a lot of people who just don't really understand it. So the fourth one is owning it. And I want you to remember that it's really the difference between extraordinary and ordinary is that little extra, just that little extra. So like when you think about skipping out on something that you're supposed to do for your business that day, like inviting or something, remember those other people that they're doing it that day. And remember that it's just that little extra, maybe 10 more minutes or 5 more minutes, or just putting a little bit of extra effort into that post you did, or that conversation, or going out of your way to really help somebody. It makes such a huge difference in this business. So for me, conversations are something that will not be skipped, no matter what, unless I have decided that this is my day off. And I know that it can be my day off because I can look at my tracker and say, holy cow, like, look how many conversations I've done this week. I can afford to just kind of take a day off and just receive people's conversations. But for me, conversations will not be skipped. And I have not always been like this. I wanted to skip conversations a lot when I first started coaching. I wanted to not do my 3 invites a day like I used to do, because that was my non-negotiable back then when I first started. It had to be 3 invites a day. And when I would want to skip, luckily my husband would sort of nudge me back and be like, well, should you skip today? Like, really, it's just a quick, 3 messages. Just send them really quick before you go to sleep. And I would just do it, because really, I think it's a lot about mindset, because people think of it as this big thing, but it's really just like sitting down and sending out a few messages. And if you can just get that through your head and know that it's just a simple hello. I love this quote. A simple hello could lead to a million things. I mean, just reaching out to somebody and saying, hey, how's your day going, could lead to a million things. But if you don't sit down and send out those messages, you're never going to know what those hellos could have meant or could have led to if you would have done them. So number 1, your business is not going to grow without the private conversations. Your posting could be amazing. Your blog could have so many followers. Your Instagram could be off the chain. If you're not private messaging people, your business is not going to grow. The key to my success, and I would put money down on this, is the conversations that I send out through private message every single day. Be a farmer. Don't be a hunter. Okay? A hunter is a coach who has not been putting in the time the entire month, and it's like 3 days until the end of the month, and they are trying to get 4 Success Club points. They've got 2 on the board. They're trying to sell 2 more challenge packs to get Success Club. They've got 3 days, 2 days, now down to 1 day. They're a hunter. This, as a coach, you're looking through your friends list. You're looking through your contact list. You're looking for those couple people that could possibly be a sale, and then you've got to hunt them down. And it's such a different feeling than being a farmer. A farmer is someone who is diligent, who every day plants those few seeds that they're going to plant. Then they walk over to the next bed and they weed the garden a little bit. Then they walk over to the next bed and they're gonna start harvesting some fruit off this next bed. And then the next bed they're gonna prune that fruit. They're gonna help that fruit to be the best fruit it can be. And that's the way we are as coaches. So farmers do not, on the last day of the season, go in and plant their crops, because if they do, they're not gonna have a chance to grow, and they're not gonna have a chance to blossom, and they're gonna die. And that's what happens, because when you try to rush people, when you're too desperate, you could push people away. So be a farmer. Then you don't have to be a hunter. Number 2, if you feel discouraged about something, and this is another one of the keys for me, distract that discouragement with more conversations. Stop thinking about it. Don't think anymore about what the other coaches are doing, or what you don't have done, or what you need to do, or where you need to go, or how far you need to go. Just do more conversations. I guarantee you, if you use that tactic, you are going to start growing your business, and you're going to start reaching those goals naturally that you've set, because it's all about the combos. A lot of coaches will sign up and they'll wait. They'll think way too much about it. They'll feel like they need to have everything set in place, or have the perfect thing to say, or the perfect results for their workouts. They start treading water. You jump off the dock, you become a coach, you start treading water, thinking about it, trying to get everything right, and they tread water for too long, and they start getting tired. They start getting tired of treading water. Their pocketbooks start getting tired of paying for Shakeology every month. Their husband's probably like, well, I thought you were going to be earning something, but I'm just putting more and more money into this. Like, what's going on? You have got to start swimming. And the swimming happens in the conversations. It is that easy. All you've got to do is the conversations. I mean, yes, okay, there's 4 vital behaviors. I will tell you, there's 4 vital behaviors. Those are all very important, and they're all very, very, you have to do all of them, okay? But if you want to just start swimming today, get off this call and start 10 conversations. And then do it every single day and just see what happens. And you don't want to spend the rest of your coaching career or the rest of your life wondering what would have happened if I would have just done that for a month. Like, could I have gone somewhere with this? So challenge yourself. Let the conversations fuel you. It's really motivating. If you really get into it and you really just make it a part of your everyday, you're going to feel weird if you don't do it. So number 3, you've got to pick that time every day to reach out. We call it a power hour. We call it a power pocket if you don't have a full hour, but you've got to set that time to reconnect. You've got to make new friends during that time. You've got to invite people. This has got to be a non-negotiable. You've got to decide on this. If building a business is important to you, or even if having a hobby that's bringing in $200 a week, which would be really awesome, right? If that's important to you, then tell your husband, tell your family, say, my goal with this business in this amount of time is to be bringing in this much money. And in order to do that, I need to have this time where I can sit down and send out these conversations to people and reconnect with people and talk to them about it. Because it's something you've got to stick to. If you're a hobby coach, I would encourage you to even choose 15 minutes a day to stick to it, because you can have a hobby that brings something to you, or you can have a hobby that just costs you money. It's really your choice with this business. You could have a hobby that's bringing in money to you if you can sit down for those 15 minutes and just send out those combos. The 4th one, be persistent. Persistence is key. I am a really, really persistent person. I always have been. And I think that helps me with the conversations, but you can teach yourself to be persistent. Just love on people as much as you can. If you're not sure what to say to them next, just go on their page and love on their posts, and you'll get to know them better, and you will think of more things to say to them. Keep following up to see how they're doing, even after they say no. Now, this is kind of weird. I made this earlier today. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of kind of how I do my conversations. So when I make a new friend, it doesn't matter who it is, I message them and thank them for adding me as a friend and ask them how they're doing. And I will do this 3 times. And if I do not get a response after 3, I push this person's to 90 days, and I don't talk to them again for 90 days. Now, before I get started with this, I want to let you know I use a CRM, which is a way of organizing my contacts. It's a program online, and it's called One Page CRM. But you could also do this with a Google spreadsheet. If you wanted to kind of leave someone alone for 90 days, you could notate that on your spreadsheet too. So this is just the way I do it. So after 90 days, I start over. I go on their page, and I look at their posts, I like their posts, I comment on their posts before I do anything else, and then I message them again. So the new friend, if they do answer my greeting and we start talking, I start forming them. So as you know, that's talking about their kids, which is one of the easiest ones, because people usually have pictures of their kids, and you can then connect with them on how old their kids are, talk about school and things like that, or whatever you want to talk about that has to do with kids. That's such an easy one. And then, just come right out and say, hey, so what do you do for work? Don't be afraid to ask those questions. No one ever comes back and says, I've only maybe had one person in 3 years say, why are you asking me so many questions? People like having other people interested in them. So you ask about their work, you ask about their kids, you maybe if you see they're into fitness, you can start talking about fitness right there when you're first forming them, because that is part of who they are. And a lot of times people will ask me, because I'm really obviously about fitness on my Facebook page. So I know this isn't what a lot of coaches teach, but I have 1 to 2 conversations before I will invite someone. I don't wait to see if we're BFFs before I invite them. I really don't think it's that big of a deal to invite someone to my online fitness accountability group. In fact, I invite everybody to my group, so it's really not that big of a deal to me. So I don't try to always work it into the conversation. In fact, sometimes it does get worked into the conversation really, really naturally. But usually I will just leave the conversation as it is without having a Beachbody conversation. And then the very next conversation I have, I will just say, hey Jill, in fact, a lot of times I'll message them back the very next day and be like, hey, we were chatting yesterday and I completely forgot to mention to you that I'm starting up a fitness support group for next month. Have you ever been involved with a group like that before? Or if they seem coachy, I message them the very next day and I say, hey, we were talking yesterday and I got to thinking, you really seem like you might be, able to be really good at doing what I do. Have you ever thought about it? So it's like, it's really nonchalant. And I think of inviting as breaking the ice, because this stranger friend requests you on Facebook. You have no idea who this person is. And they start talking with you, they start asking you questions, they start getting to know you, and that doesn't happen. When does that ever happen to you? Like, other than with Beachbody coaches, like, a lot of people might be like, who is this girl and why is she so interested in me? So finally, when you invite them, they're like, oh, okay, like, that makes sense. Like, she's got a group going on. Do I stop talking to them after I invite them? Absolutely not. So if they don't answer back to me after I invite them, I will message them 2 or 3 days later and just say, hey girl, how's it going today? And just start talking to them as if I never would have invited them. If you guys could all mute yourselves, I hear somebody that may have just logged in that's not.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. And then once they say, no, I haven't been involved with a group like that before, what's it all about? Or how much does it cost? Or no matter what they ask me, I say, well, hey, I actually have a video that I made that explains the group. I always make sure I tell them I made the video. Would you like to see it? And then I say, usually I'll say, well, do you have any particular fitness goals you're working toward? After I ask them if they want to watch the video. So they usually say, yes, I want to see the video. And then they keep talking to me about their goals and I send them the video. Then the conversation dies off. They usually don't watch it right away. Then the next day, I message them and I follow up to see what they thought of the video. I do that 3 times before I'll push them off for 30 days. So if I send them my video, I don't give up right away if they don't answer me back. I keep following up with them. I even go as far as to say, hey, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I just wanted to see what you thought of the video I sent you the other day. And if you don't have a video and you're not using a video, I'm sure Jessica has a video. If you're her coach, you could use my video if you're my coach, but I highly, 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 highly recommend you make your own video. That's what owning it is all about. You get on there, you make your video, you watch it, you say, oh my word, I'm never sending that to anybody. Then you remake the video and you get it to where you like the video, and then you use that video, and it is going to save you so much time. It's going to save you so much energy because you don't have to keep copying and pasting the same explanation of your challenge group over and over again. You can tell them about the Shakeology. It's right there on the table. Everything's right there. And it's just, the video has changed my business. So anyway, if they say yes, then I start asking them more questions. We start talking about the workouts. We start talking about the Shakeology. We start talking about everything, and we figure out the challenge pack. I offer them the coaching opportunity, and then I send them the correct link. Okay? Always make sure you ask them if they want the bulk bag or the packets, because you want to talk about whether they get 30 servings or 24. And then always ask, if they know anybody else that would want to join the group too. So ask for referrals. Now, if they say no, and this is probably the route you're going to take more often, don't just say, okay, well, whenever you're ready, just let me know. I'll do groups. I do groups like this all the time. I used to say that all the time and just leave it at that. Don't leave it there. Find out why. Find out why no. If they say I'm not interested, say, well, is there anything in particular that's holding you back from joining right now? And they will give you a reason. Over here in this pink circle are some reasons a lot of people give, and you've probably heard a lot of these. These are all great reasons to follow back up with someone in 30 days and find out, or 15, 2 weeks. If I really like the person, I'll put them for 2 weeks and follow up with them then. And keep talking to them about their no. If they're too busy, start talking to them more about how you save time. If it's a bad time for them, make sure you're checking up on them in a week or two to see how that bad time is going. Not about the challenge group, about their bad time that they had. If they don't have time, same thing. If they're super busy, this gives you the opportunity to follow up, and you can ask them, is it okay if I message you in and give you a heads up about the next group? If the money isn't there, if it's a transition period, any reason they give you is just like a conversation starter to keep talking to them. So don't leave it at no, because after they say no, after you keep talking to them, after you keep being their friend, the next thing you do is you invite them to your free clean eating group or your sneak peek group. And then you start everything back up again, and you can start forming them more, and you can start invite, and then it gives you the excuse because you're going to obviously invite everybody at the end of the groups again. So that is, I'm sorry, that was kind of long-winded, but that is what I do. So for me, another one, posting is something that will not be skipped. I would feel so weird. I look on other coaches' pages like to peep their posts and stuff, and I notice like even some of the top coaches, they have days where they don't post at all. Now, that might work for them, but for me, I can't do that, because if I skip one day, then I'm going to skip a different day. If I skip this day making a video, then I'm going to get out of the habit and I'm not going to do it. So make that posting a non-negotiable. And the great way, number one, help yourself be consistent by using a pattern. And if you look at my page, you'll notice I have a pattern. In the morning, if I don't want to be seen or if I can't think, I just do a picture quote. Sometimes I'll do something with myself in it. But then I always have some sort of workout post. I usually do a video, some kind of food accountability post, or a Shakeology accountability post, one of those, and then some random post about my life. And then I try to post one call to action daily, which means inviting them to something, telling them to message you. You got to let people know you're a coach, and you got to be right there buzzing in their ears, so that when they're ready to start, they're going to think of you. Number two is utilize live feed and videos. Get out of your comfort zone. Do those videos, do those live feed. Facebook absolutely loves those. Number three, when you see a new program, for example, like Core de Force, that's if you have not done the sneak peek yet, right after this call, you've got to get on there, do the sneak peek of the workout, videotape yourself, get that content out there, share about it. Maybe you really don't want to do that program, but do the sneak peek anyway. And I honestly order every new program. I try to do every new program just because I feel like it really helps my business, and it's worth it to try everything. Number four, don't overthink your posts. Sometimes the simplest, silliest thing will get the most likes. So just constantly collect your ideas. When you think of something, instantly put it in your phone. You should have an idea list in your phone. Every time you think of something, whether you're going to use it right now or not, put it in your phone. Even if you don't have time, take pictures of everything throughout your day to use for posts later. And obviously plan ahead. That helps with posting too. So consistency is what makes you attractive as a coach. It is so hard to be consistent. I understand that because it's hard for me too. But if you can set systems in place to ensure your consistency, systems like a daily routine, systems like using your tracker, systems like having specific step-by-step things that you do every single day to ensure that you're consistent. Or maybe you sit down on Saturdays if you have a couple hours and you'll get post ideas for the whole week. So these kind of systems and this sort of routine is going to help you to be consistent. Number two, it requires refueling, okay? You got to refuel yourself to be consistent or you are going to burn out. So show up to team calls, do your personal development, refuel yourself with healthy food and your workouts. Make sure you're walking the walk so that you can continue to be consistent. If you're not walking the walk, if you're not doing the 3 vitals, your market, your challengers and your team is going to feel that, and they're going to follow your lead. Number three, realize that the key to success in this business is action. So love your work and what you do, and it won't seem as much like work, but you've got to do the actions every single day. This business is like a machine, and in order for it to be cranking out the results that you want, you have got to push the machine, and you've got to do the work to get the machine to work. You can't just expect it to do it by itself. And number 4, as a business builder, you need to sit down and have a real life conversation with yourself. How high of a priority is your business? How important is your why? How real is this to you? If it's low, if your priority of your business is low, that could be why you're having trouble signing people up. When you talk about your business, people feel your confidence, people hear your confidence, people hear your sincerity and your heart for your business when they speak with you. So if you aren't really even convinced yourself about your business, then people are gonna sense that from you. So you have got to own it. Like I was saying before, be proud of what you do. Be proud to be a coach. We are an amazing group of people. This is an enormous movement in the world, and we are part of it. We are helping so many people. You've got to be proud of that. People are going to criticize, but you cannot let that stop you. And the more proud you are of something, the more your family and friends are going to back you on it. The better you talk about someone to your husband, for example. If you're always talking bad about your friend or complaining about the things she's doing, he's not going to want you to hang out with that girl. Same thing with your business. If you're only showing him the parts that are discouraging or complaining, he's not going to want you to be spending time on it. So you've got to be proud. Let everyone know that you're in this for the long haul. People want someone who is in it for the long haul. That's why the more consistent you can be for a length of period of time, people are going to see that and they're going to say, wow, I need to hook up with them because they're consistent and I want that. So let everybody see that in your posting. And run your own show. Number 3, run your own show with excellence every single month. Do not depend on anybody else to do the work for you. Running your own challenge groups is so key to credibility. And I'm not knocking any coaches that are in my challenge groups that have been doing my challenge groups. If you're on the hobby level, if you're just starting out, that is totally fine. But if this is something you want to do as a business, if this is something that you want to see real income from and grow a real network, running your own show with excellence every month is going to show your friends, your family, and everyone you meet that you are a real life fitness coach and you're running a real life fitness business. Make coaching a solid part of your daily life. As a business builder, coaching is going to be your life. It's part of my life. It's part of my kids' life. It's part of my husband's life. And everyone in my family is okay with that because it's changed our lives. It's impacted our lives. It's made our family healthier and happier. And so embrace that as part of your life. If this is what you want to do, if you have goals in this business, you've got to embrace that. You've got to own it. And brag on your business. Brag on your business like you would brag on your child. You're not going to go out in public and tell everybody the stuff that your kid did. Probably you won't. Tell them all the mess ups your kid did in front of your kid, in front of everybody. You're not going to do that. Or if your kid annoyed you so bad all day, you're not going to go out to preschool and be like, yeah, he's just annoyed me all day. No, you're going to tell the good things about your kid. You're going to talk about the things that they did well, the things that are going well. So when you're talking to others about your business, talk about the things that go well. Don't talk about the order that they messed up last week, to people, or that the discouragements that you might be having as a coach or the no's that you're getting. Brag on your business. Talk about the good things. Be confident before you're confident. You got to fake it till you make it. None of us are perfect. You got to be a leader before you feel like a leader, because the second you sign up as a coach and the second you start motivating others, the second you sign up your first challenger or coach, you are a leader. So be a top coach. Think like a top coach. Even if you're just a brand new coach or an emerald rank, you're not even very far from being a top coach if you put the work in and you put the time in. So it's all about, do you want your job? If you do, you'll get it done. If you take pride in what you do, you'll get it done. It's all about being a pro. So, think of this as something that you can either do halfway or the whole way. And the whole way is so much more satisfying and so much more fun. So your call to action is to start swimming. I want you to start swimming. Whatever areas of your business that you're treading water in, I want you to identify those. So that's number one. I want you to identify the areas of your business where you're treading water. What areas are you kind of waiting around to see to start? What ones are you leaving till last? And then maybe they're not getting done. So identify those. And then number two, what are you going to do this week, starting tomorrow, to change that? How are you going to start swimming? So I want you to post a little post in the team page, whether it's the More Than Conquerors page or the FitBuzz page, and just post where are you treading water and what are you going to do to change this tomorrow. Okay?